Hello everybody and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Hot for Justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm MB Jitters.
I'm CheerandCosplay.
And I'm Kozi.
And we're back with one last underrated gem for this week. It was supposed to be last week, but circumstances being circumstances, we had a con and a couple other things that came up, so it was like, didn't happen. But we're here now, and that's what's important, because we're... Kozi, this is your week. Tell us what we watched 2 weeks ago.
Just bastardized X-Men. You know, you have people with like these mutant powers that suddenly awaken them, and the government is trying to put them down.
And it's called Towa Quon.
It is Towa Quon.
They do say Towa Quon in the dub.
It's one word. It's one word.
It's 2 words. It's 3 words online. 1 word.
Yes,
in
but the
dub.
actual title card
Then there's
is 1 word.
Okay. So this was it's an anime created by Bones back in 2011. Sort of film series, short film series. It's like 6 episodes, 50 to 60 minutes a piece. We watched the first 2, in which we got to meet the peeps.
The peeps.
Yes, you described this as X-Men, so I mean, which X-Men are we dealing with here?
That's a good question.
So we got...
I mean, one's a leader, but he doesn't have psychic powers like Charles Xavier, so...
I called him Sharknado.
Tay.
Yeah.
Tay has the psychic powers.
Which one's Tay?
The girl with the black hair and the kimono.
Okay, so that's Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
If we're going with Marvel, there's a girl with a voice that does things. We'll call her Black Bolt.
Super speed.
You know what? We're going to go with Namor the Submariner. He's going to be important this year, I guess. So that's our leader.
What?
He's going to be in Black Panther. You didn't know that?
I have never heard this name before.
Namor the Submariner? He's
Yeah.
like old Marvel, man. He's like Aquaman, but way more, like, speedo-y.
It certainly has a name.
Who else we got? Slutty Quicksilver. Slutty-er Quicksilver.
Yeah.
God,
Teleportation.
A teleport. Nightcrawler. Cool.
And then the computer guy who can, like, fuse with it.
Cerebro.
Yeah.
Or is that the Omega Sentinel? I don't know. Hard to say.
I would say Cerebro. Oh, and then the girl who can talk to the animals.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, she's pretty cute.
I guarantee you there was an X-Men who did that, but it's, like, not coming to mind at all.
Eliza Thornberry.
Eliza
There you
Thornberry!
go.
You know? Throw it out there. 1, superpowers. 2, very smart. She could get into Xavier's.
Yeah, she'd be in the X-Men for sure.
She's Lacey Chabert. She can do anything. She was in like 27 Hallmark movies in 3 years.
It's been a long time since I've seen The Wild Thornberries. Whenever Eliza talked to animals back in that show, did she make the animals sound like the girl in this show did?
Yep.
But
There's
from an
like,
outsider's
there was an
perspective.
episode where they actually took away her ability to speak to humans, and she could only make animal noises. So yeah, she makes the noises. Anyway, back to Towa Quon, because they've got like, actually the Omega Sentinels are more like the actual police security force people.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they're the Sentinels, but they also have like some level of human intelligence and whatnot. And they're kind of in a different show almost. They're doing Minority Report, while the rest of them are doing X-Men.
I will say if we got like the 3rd episode in, like that's where you kind of get the main conflict arising. But like, I feel like we saw enough conflict between the agency and Quon and his little amusement park of freaks.
Yeah. I feel like, I'm kind of getting what the overall conflict and theme of this is. You know, don't be mean to people who are different than you. I mean, it is X-Men, for the most part.
But it's also Greatest Showman.
Are they a circus? I thought they were like a botanical garden or something.
No, it's an amusement park.
Okay.
Which is like a step away from circus.
I mean,
Okay, I guess that's fair.
The kids and stuff, like, as they get older, they go to work, but...
At the place that's been raising them, I suppose. Are there...
Yeah.
I feel like there's some child labor laws here that might be being violated. I don't know.
No,
I forgot.
They're
What's
not
his...
working when they're kids.
What's his face? The one who had the Digimon. The plant thing. Does he have power? Is his power like I summon plant creature?
I mean, he can understand plants.
No,
Yeah,
not him.
he
Other
connected
one,
with
the guy.
plants.
The guy dressed as a clown who's part of their team and is voiced by Adam from
Oh.
Skate.
No, that guy does not have a power.
Okay. What was the little Pokemon plant thing that was with him in one of the episodes?
Oh, that was
just
the
a
mascot
Okay.
for the amusement
Okay,
park.
all right, that makes sense. Like,
Oh.
we have like a show where a man becomes a shark person. It's
Yeah, no,
not
that's
beyond the realm of imagination that a person could become like a plant. You know what? Someone did become a plant person, so I think I'm
True.
justified in thinking
Yeah,
that was a person.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think they ever explain why he transforms the way he does.
My assumption, to some degree, and this is just me kind of theorizing here, because we have like people with powers and whatnot. They can't entirely control them. You know X-Men. You probably know X-Men. And, they kind of hurt themselves a little bit, or it changes them a little bit. Like, one person turns into a shark man, and the other person is, like, speeding around. They kind of, like, run into stuff a lot because they can't slow down. So, like, I think just the more... And I think they had something about... Again, look up X-Men, control your power controls you, or whatever kind of thing. I'm assuming that these gifts that they have can just consume them if they give in to them too much. And that's what I'm assuming happened to Plant Boy.
Yeah, definitely, and that's
Poison
something
Ivy.
they bring up.
No, that's
but
DC Comics. I can't do that.
As we find out in the second episode, I believe, Quon is immortal. He's lived for 1,000 years already.
Yeah.
Like, he has full control.
Well, 1,000 years will do. You know what? He's Apocalypse. He's the 1,000-year-old mutant who's going to end the world, and he's gathering his 4 Okay, so Quon is the bad guy.
No.
This is definitely and I'm on the Sentinel side now. Because Quon is clearly trying to gather all of the people together to take over the world.
I mean,
Definitely.
do you care about a tiny spoiler?
I mean, I feel like I can guess a couple of things going on here.
Okay, so technically...
Hold up, before you do, did I not... I feel like we were talking a little bit about this at the convention. Did I not guess, like, a bunch of stuff already?
You definitely guessed about Towa.
Okay. Yeah.
But,
It's
technically
Trigun.
all of the mutants are related to Quon somewhere in their lineage. Like, the mutant genealogy began in his village and was only in his village.
Why does that feel like Apocalypse, the first mutant?
Like,
Wait.
all of the children he's gathering and trying to stop from being killed, they are his living family.
Okay. That makes sense. Being immortal and whatnot, you're probably going to have some degree of, like, cousins or children or whatever that are like, yeah, you're my 32nd cousin. I knew all the people that led up to you. Kind of creepy, but still, like, understandable.
Now I'm a little concerned about the deaf girl he's going after.
There's a deaf girl?
No, it's not a thing.
Okay.
Kiri, the voice.
Oh, Black Bolt, right.
Yeah.
You know what? No, we gotta go X-Men. That's Banshee. Is she deaf?
She was mute.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I meant
was
mute.
like, could have swore she was, like, talking to people and not having, like, any sort of issue, like, unless she's really good at reading lips.
No, I'm very bad at moving mine.
Well, there you go. Okay, so, I mean, that's the basic plot. What did everybody think about it? Or maybe we should start with Kozi. Kozi, what drew you to this and has it standing out for you?
Well, originally it was just on Anime Central, so it was just something to watch. When I first started, honestly. And I don't know how many people remember old Anime Central, but oh boy, were those very hit or miss.
What was Anime Central again? Was that like a pirate site, or what was...
Anime Central was a channel that you could usually get through some sort of cable service. I'm not sure what was offered out here since you guys obviously lived in a different part of the country than I did growing up. It was like channel 900 or something where I was, and it was basically just anime on demand.
Okay. Well, that's
it was
something.
Just one of those ones that went up, and I'm like, yeah, sure, let's see what it is. And then when I started it, like, the animation was so pretty, which is kind of like my thing. I don't get hooked on, like, plot elements usually at first. Usually just like, this is aesthetically pleasing. And then I think I stuck with it because by the end of the first episode, I hadn't realized how much time had passed. But then I'm like, oh, wow, this was like a 45-minute episode.
Yeah.
So I'm like, obviously it was entertaining.
Yeah, I agree with you. The animation is very nice. It's from Studio Bones, which has done a number of other things. Actually, some that we've actually watched here, like, didn't we watch number 6 for one of these guys?
Yeah.
I mean, My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia, they did Soul Eater. I feel like I've brought up Darker Than Black before, I think. And this actually kind of reminds me of that
Darker
a little
Than
bit, too.
Black was also fantastic.
Yeah. Though I think...
Which I feel like that, number 6, and Quon all kind of came out around the same time.
I think
so
they
I think
were.
same animation team working on them.
Yeah. Hang on. Well, Darker Than Black was like 2007. This was like a couple years later.
Yeah, anime teams usually last for a couple of years before they rotate.
Maybe we should watch Darker Than Black at some point. I gotta show you guys that. I didn't, like, want to use it for, like, an underrated thing, because I actually think a lot of people, especially back in the day, did see it.
Yeah, it was definitely really popular.
Yeah. Plus, I got a second season. I mean, that you can't be underrated if you got a second season, even if the second season was not good. So.
You know, I just love how you named some of Studio Bones' more underrated shows without naming their more popular shows.
Okay, Soul Eater, Oron, My Hero, Space Dandy. Okay. Razafon. Because everyone knows Razafon now. It's Evangelion, but happier.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Look that one up.
I'm looking it up.
Wolf's Reign.
Yeah.
That's an older one.
Yeah.
Eureka 7.
Yeah.
Both the Full Metal Alchemists.
A
Mob
show
Psycho
that,
100.
a show that
do you know Bungo Stray Dogs?
Yeah. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. That's become an obsession among this channel. Outside
Among
of this channel.
some of this channel. I just find it silly. Anywho,
But yeah,
back to Quon.
Animation was really pretty, and then, I don't know, like, for only being 6 episodes, which I didn't know at the time, because Anime on Demand didn't really tell you, like, jack shit about what you were actually watching. But, you know, it had really good plot beats. Because, like, you think you know where the story is going, but you don't know where it's going.
Okay.
It kind of pulls a Samurai Flamenco.
Okay, I was just going to ask, because you and me are both in a unique situation where we've seen both of these. I'm like, how out of left field does some of these plot twists come in? If you're saying this is comparable to the shenanigans of the story in Samurai Flamenco, I will absolutely watch the rest of this.
Nothing like that,
I will be impressed.
but you definitely don't see, like, the main villain's motivation for what it is until you're suddenly in the finale. And you're like, oh shit!
Okay, by that do you mean it comes completely out of nowhere, or it's like, oh, now I get it?
No, it definitely comes out of nowhere.
Okay.
You have no real indication of it even being a possibility.
Because I have guessed some other things, and it's reminded me of other shows. Can I throw a guess out there?
Sure.
I'm thinking... First off, is it a secret villain, or have we already seen the villain and it's the head of this organization that's, like, trying to hunt down all the mutants?
Who do you think is the head? Because there's...
I know there's an evil shadow organization, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You know, we've all seen Evangelion, we've all watched the Nerve meeting room shit. I'm talking about the guy actually running the show from the control room, the Gendo of the operation.
Okay, it is someone within the organization.
Cool.
I'll give you that much.
Are they trying to reset reality to before everyone had mutant powers?
No.
Okay, well, that's a
Theory's
plot line that
gone.
I have seen, honestly, too much sometimes. It really comes out of nowhere.
Like, no more mutants?
Yeah, no more mutants. But I'm trying to think. I could probably come up with a couple things where they tried doing that kind of like out of nowhere. We're just gonna reset reality. I'm like, when did that become a thing? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Not trying to reset reality. I feel like it'd be too obvious if he was trying to collect all of the mutants together to then absorb all their powers to become a super Akira mutant.
So the thing
unless
is
I'm on
like
point.
they've talked about playing God already.
Okay, experimentation. I hear you.
That's kind of like what it all boils down to is someone wants to play God.
That's it? They just want hamsters? Or guinea pigs? Whatever they call them?
Guinea pigs is the correct rodent, yes.
Okay. Well, that's disappointing, honestly. I was expecting a little bit more from the 1,000-year-old Sharknado show.
Well, the thing is he's lived 1,000 years without being caught, so...
You know, that's like... I've always wondered about that kind of thing, because there's always, like, you always see the same thing with, like, sort of, like, vampires or something.
Love me a good vampire.
How hard would it be in the pre-modern age with cameras and everything else and all sorts of yada yada yada, and you're super powerful? How hard really is it to disappear if you want to? Like, if he's 1,000 years old, let's say it's 1500s, right then, and he just needs to disappear. You just leave town.
So
what are you gonna do? Try to follow you? You're a shark person.
He's broke. He is not the one who built the amusement park.
Well, I'm sure that's always another thing with, like, vampires and stuff. What do you do about taxes? What do immortal people do with taxes? I'm assuming you have to come up with a new identity every couple centuries or something, or, like, every couple decades, or it's whatever. But, yeah, I'd imagine he would be, like, struggling a little bit financially.
No, he doesn't ever get a job.
Isn't his job at the amusement park?
No, technically he's not employed.
This guy's just couch surfing. My God.
He really is. He takes care of the tree. He takes care of the kids. And that's really it.
Did I already guess that the tree was his brother?
Yes, you did.
Okay, cool. If you've seen Trigun, something similar.
Anyways, do we want to talk about the plot of these first 2 episodes?
I feel like we have been. You know, Sentinels are hunting down mutants. You know, there's new mutants every day, and they're collecting them like Pokemon, you know? They gotta bring them back to Xavier's amusement park for the, you know, gifted fun seekers or something.
Well, we didn't go around and
They're
say what
not-
each person thought of the show, though.
That's a fair point.
They are not orphans.
They're not orphans. They're
I
Their
didn't say they were
parents usually
orphans.
just
kidnapped.
Their parents are usually just like, yeet!
I
I
didn't
don't
say they
know
were
how to
orphans.
care for this. You take it.
Do we think Plant Boy's mom lived?
Hmm.
Was she home?
Look, I have stopped asking in anime where are the parents, so this is a moot point, kind of. It's an
Well,
anime.
It showed,
They're
it
either
showed
there
her
or they're
coming
not.
home in the one scene.
Okay.
Like, was she still home when he went nuts?
Maybe he killed her and ate her. I don't know.
He hurt.
I don't know what he's gonna do. He's a giant plant monster. You telling me there wasn't some Venus flytrap in there somewhere? I feel like anytime someone turns into a giant plant monster, they usually eat some. Wasn't he, like, eating whoever was, like, they cut him out of, like, the honestly very vaginal-looking plant body thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
George
yes, he
O'Keefe was going like, ooh, hey. Points to any art geeks out there.
He was indeed eating him.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know. Fuck you, I'm talking.
Yeah, go ahead. This is your show.
I did just want to mention, because Chibi isn't here, but one of the things she said she really did enjoy was the detective aspect that they were taking towards, on the Sentinel side. Like, they're actually hunting, like, any mutant, but they're also hunting ones that are killers.
Yeah, it's like a
So, like,
priority level kind of thing.
I do agree with her there that, like, how they approached, like, the actual detective work was pretty cool.
Yeah, they're like doing like virtual reality crime scene reconstruction. Again, we mentioned Minority Report a little bit. It's got a little bit of that kind of vibe to it. It's pretty cool.
Maybe Detroit.
That is the video game one, or just the city?
Yeah, Detroit Become Human.
Haven't played it.
What about
But
it?
how the investigation scene works.
Oh, yeah.
But these stupid motherfuckers still can't figure out who Insomnia is.
That's Sharknado, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or where he lives. They have access to all of the cameras, enough to be able to reconstruct the scenes like that in virtual reality.
Well, then maybe this whole, like, how did you, like, stay off the grid for so long kind of thing is, like, kind of easier than we all think it is. I don't know. Maybe Slutty Quicksilver is picking up Sharknado and running them past the cameras before they can catch them. It's a possibility.
Or maybe the guy's deleting it, but still.
Maybe.
That's, like, one kind of, like, major plot hole, I feel like.
Well, you know. My plot hole issue, lore, world stuff, I'm just going to say it because I got nowhere else to say it. I never understood how X-Men worked in the Marvel universe at large. How do you like Spider-Man and then hate mutants? Where's the distinction for the guy on the street? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Is it the uniform? Then just don't wear the uniform. If everyone knows, like, the X-Men all wear the same uniform, and there's, like, that's the people with superpowers that we hate, just don't wear that uniform!
Yeah.
Doesn't make much sense.
No, not at all.
Well, I mean, Spider-Man wasn't originally someone with superpowers.
But how would they know that? That's the question.
Yeah,
That's
like,
true.
unless you know who each person is, and how then where they got their powers, and you're able to make that distinction of, like, okay, these people were born with powers, this person was bitten by a radioactive spider, for some reason that's different for me. And then you're making the distinction, but no one knows who Peter Parker is. You know what I mean? Sure, we know who Tony Stark is.
But when you think about it, like, the main Avengers...
yeah, most of them public figures. Everybody knows them. Everyone knows
public
Bruce Banner.
figures, but, like, they're
radiation
still
model.
not super powered technically.
I'd say the Hulk is very super powered.
But he's hated.
In the comics too, like, they don't know their secret identities. Like, nobody knows the Hulk is Bruce Banner in the comics, just in the movies.
That's a fair point.
But he is hated. The Hulk is, like,
okay,
the fugitive.
The Hulk, maybe not the best example
like,
all the time.
Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, those are all normal people. Thor's a god.
Yeah.
Captain America was created
Steroids.
for US propaganda, so
Yeah.
we can't hate
Steroids.
him.
But I'm just saying, like, there's a bunch of people outside of the Avengers, and, you know, just in general, bunch of people with superpowers, okay?
I mean, I think Spider-Man is the toughest one
Yeah,
to
it's
make
like-
sense with the X-Men, because people do like Spider-Man.
Everyone likes Spider-Man except for one guy with a Hitler mustache. and everyone hates the X-Men? How do you know that? How do you know that he's not an X-Man? How do you know that he just didn't get into the school?
It's hard to say.
You know, same thing with the Fantastic Four.
I think it does seem to be born with versus created.
But again, who knows that Spider-Man wasn't born with his powers?
Yeah, why don't the X-Men just claim that they got a radioactive whatever?
I got bit by a radioactive Wolverine. I was bit by a radioactive devil. I got bit by a radioactive angel.
I mean,
I was bit by a radioactive laser beam.
Wow.
Like, a lot of their parents and stuff are still alive, and, like, they're all abandoned kids in the school.
But the public doesn't have to know that.
I don't think all of the Xavier kids are, like, abandoned kids.
You don't
I mean,
think
they're
their
like,
parents would come forward if they were trying to, like, gain publicity, like, in a positive light, and be like, nah, that little fucker is a mutant!
I can't speak to everyone. I just feel like I've seen certain situations where, like, they were like, yeah, there's always going to be those parents who are like, oh, I hate my kid because this. We know it's like, it's a broad spectrum sort of, like, prejudice metaphor thing. But I feel like there's other parents who are, like, cool with it, and we just don't hear about them because there's no conflict there. Tim Drake had parents for how long?
Yeah, quite a while.
He was Robin for 20 years. We never heard anything about them until they decided to kill them for an issue.
True.
So, I mean, I don't think they ever bring up anyone's parents unless there's a conflict there. So if there's no conflict and you're okay with your kid being a mutant, you're not going to be part of the story.
Okay, but the fact of the matter is that no matter what, they send these kids to Xavier's school and they don't allow them to come home, and they're perfectly okay with that.
I mean, they're going to graduate and leave eventually, hopefully. Maybe.
No, when
I don't
you
know.
graduate
What is
from
the
his
mortality
school,
rate
you
there?
just become an X-Men.
Yeah, but you're saying you don't ever get to go anywhere else as an X-Men. Look at Wolverine. He goes wherever the fuck he wants. Try stopping him.
What was the point we were trying to make?
I don't remember anymore.
I have an issue with the X-Men in Marvel because, you know, prejudice. Why do we prejudice one thing and not another thing, which looks exactly the same to anyone on the street?
Related to
but then we have
Quon.
here it makes sense.
Oh,
Everyone's got a problem
gotcha.
because everyone's got superpowers. And we keep making X-Men references. I can't not bring up, like, the key element of X-Men.
Okay.
So, at least in Quon, the superpowers, the Sentinel, the Shadow Organization, none of that's publicly known.
So it's Secret Wars?
I'm out.
Nothing. Okay.
You anger her. What were you were saying something to me when Mute Girl was in the alleyway. You were like, by the way, nobody knows this secret government exists. And I was like, oh man, she just got jumped in the middle of an alleyway. It must be terrifying.
Yeah. Like, she has no clue what's going on. There are just random, like, android-looking people menacingly doing wheelies around her.
RoboCops on electric unicycles.
But yeah, like, no wonder, like, everyone who gets confronted with the robot police are like, what is going on? Dude, back off. Like, they don't know it exists. Their body's suddenly doing something freaky that hurts people.
Okay, can I throw this out there? Just because I think this is a hilarious idea. What if they were tracking a gifted mutant, whoever, they actually got the wrong person. They all show up to this normal person who's like, what the fuck are the RoboCops? And then they're like, oh, wrong person. Then they just leave. They don't do anything to him. And he's like, wait, I gotta tell someone. And like, one of them just looks back like, who's gonna believe you? And he just leaves.
You didn't see anything.
Go ahead, tell everybody. Look like a crazy person. I got jumped by 4 RoboCops on unicycles. What kind of acid are you on?
Tracking them by some sort of, like, energy they put off when they awaken their powers.
I know, I get it. I saw the thing. They got the little heat signature map, and
it would
tracking
be funny.
Radiation? I don't know, something like that. But I still think it's funny, like, what would a civilian say about this? Okay, go ahead, say something.
Or even
No one's
just
gonna
if a
believe you.
civilian was with someone.
Exactly. Oh,
Like, could you
my
imagine,
sister.
like...
My sister was kidnapped by 4 RoboCops on unicycles. The cops are gonna be like, I think you murdered your sister.
Very tragically, I do actually have an answer for what happens if a civilian is with them, though.
I guarantee you they murder them.
They definitely do.
But I'm just throwing it out there. Hilarious if they're just like, yeah, tell everyone, we don't care.
It would be so funny.
Fucking try it.
I could definitely see that doctor, like, programming that level of snark into them.
I like the Doctor. It was voiced by Chris Patton. I'm a fan of him.
The doctor gets really fucked up.
I'm sure. Is he the secret villain? He's probably the secret villain. He's not.
No.
Okay, that makes me happy. I kind of liked him. He was fun.
No, he's just... He gets creepy in a bad way.
Oh, no. At what point does lead robot... What was he? Alpha? Gamma? I forget which Greek
Delta?
letter he was. What?
Delta?
Delta. That's his name. When does Delta realize he's on the wrong side of this thing?
Episode 5.
Aha. I can see the future. Like Minority Report.
They totally set that up, though.
Oh, yeah. Big time. They're clearly going to start questioning the whole regime. Like, why are we doing this like this? Oh, they don't have emotions. Wait, this one had an emotion.
Before Delta, though, the very flamboyant one who likes to read books will question first.
Have we met him yet?
No. I would
Okay.
say... I think it's episode 4 where you really get to know him.
Because flamboyant RoboCop on a unicycle sounds like I want to see that.
Were they unicycles or were they segways?
Okay.
They were
so-
motorcycles that they popped a wheelie on.
Well,
Okay.
they start out in a giant
Train.
train
Yeah.
drag racer, which must be impossible to steer because I didn't see any joints on that thing that could like make it turn. Then
That's why they need the highway.
Then they all pop out on their like built-in motorcycle things, very much like if anyone watched Lightspeed Rescue, the Super Train Megazord dropping off all the other Zords. And then the tops pop off and the front wheel throws away, kind of like in The Dark Knight, except dumber because now they're just like on a unicycle.
Menacingly, though.
Menacing me on a unicycle. You better watch or I'll fight you. Bold words for someone not on a unicycle. This is a fun show, and it's a very cool show, but it's also a very silly show when you really
Yes.
get down to it. As all anime should be a little bit. I think if you're not just a little bit silly, you're doing something wrong.
Okay, maybe thoughts now.
Thoughts? I enjoyed this. Yeah, I'd probably watch the rest of this when I get the time. I'm finishing up a couple other series, so I'll probably be able to watch the rest of it soon. I think Chibi's right. I enjoyed that that detective stuff. I'm hoping there's a little bit more of that. I think that could be cool. That might be a good way for them to, like, discover mutant emotion. I don't know. Something like that.
Yes, there is some more detective stuff. Now,
Sweet.
I do want to ask, do you feel like they appropriately filled up their time limit? Because I remember that is one thing you told me. If it's going to be that long, it needs to use every second of it.
Yes, I honestly think they did. And what I think... Here's what may become an issue for people, because I know this has been an issue for some other people who have, like, watched certain things that I've recommended that's sometimes been, like, an hour long. I don't think everyone wants to sit down for an hour. I think most people will sit and watch, like, 15 episodes of something and, like, spend way more time watching something than they do for, like, one episode of this. But to them, it's like, oh, it's only, like, 20 minutes. Oh, another one's only 20 minutes. Oh, another one's only 20... And they just kind of keep going like that. It's an easily repeatable cycle. But if you, like, go to someone like, okay, here's a movie that's an hour and a half. Like, oh, I don't have the time for that, but I'll watch 3 hours of TV. So,
Why are you attacking me like this?
Hey, I'm guilty of it too sometimes. But I think that although I definitely think they had enough plot to fill this up, I think it might have done better, and it might have gotten a little more, like, traction with audiences had they actually broken these down to, like, 2-part episodes. Like, episode 1 is episodes 1 and 2. It's like 50 minutes. That breaks down into... You would have a 12-episode series, which is a pretty regular core.
Yeah,
And you'd, like, leave on the middle in a cliffhanger. Actually, kind of like another show they did, Darker Than Black.
I don't know how well that would work, because the plot elements don't break cleanly in the middle.
That could be fair. I'd probably have to, like, really, like, time code it out and try to figure out how to break it down exactly. You're probably right. But I think it might have gone to maybe making this less underrated had it maybe had a little bit more of a regular time.
If it was on anything else than Anime on Demand.
Ah, yeah. But yeah, still. No, I absolutely think that they had plenty of plot to put together for these episodes. So I have no complaints in regard to that. Who's next?
Don't everyone jump at once.
I guess we're going in order.
I guess.
I'm gonna be real. I learned more about this show listening to you guys talk about it right now than I did trying to watch it.
Gav, did you fall asleep again?
No. We were all con crunching.
Yeah.
I thought you guys rewatched.
I can't sit through, like, a regular length of an anime episode, let alone, like, double the length of an episode at a time. Like, my motivation is so fucking bad that it's, like, a struggle to get me to watch something unless I, like, I don't know, have already seen it before. Like, I'm gonna be real, but, I mean, from what I did see of it, like, I thought the characters seemed, like, cool. I specifically remember, I don't know her name, the mute girl.
Black Bolt.
Sure.
Oh no, Banshee. That's it. That's the X-Men.
Whatever X-Men she is. But I remember, like, seeing bits and pieces of her when I was, like, watching and, like, simultaneously doing other stuff, but,
She sang the cancer away.
Yeah, that's the part I remember the most, actually. But it's just, like, it was, like, hard for me to, like, pay attention, but not because of, like, the show was bad or anything. It's just because my brain is, like, shit.
No, that is a downfall of, like, longer format.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You'd probably get more people watching if it was, like, 22 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be a lot easier for me to pay attention if it were shorter. But, maybe I'll just have to try watching it again when my mind's in, like, a better space, I guess. And better mindset.
Yin, what did you think?
I had a similar issue where I was con crunching while watching this.
You were, like, running around a lot. I was fortunate. I was carving a sword, basically, so I was able to sit myself in front of the TV.
Painting the sword.
Oh, no, this was after. You were painting it after. I was, like, still carving some of the edges out of it.
I think we both were. I was definitely over in the dining room a lot, too. So, I was in and out. I liked the bits that I saw.
The unicycle.
I don't know. Like, it seemed fairly good. A little bit standard. Like, nothing I haven't seen before, I guess. But I think it seemed like it was done pretty well for what it was. I liked the animation a lot. I think especially, you know, it looks like a more modern anime, even though I know it's older. So I think that was really solid. I think the character designs and stuff were good. I think it seemed like something I'd probably give a few more episodes, but like I said, I'm probably a bad judge of it because everything was very hectic when I was trying to watch it and I didn't get the time to rewatch it.
I mean,
So,
if you give it a few more episodes, you've already finished it. So.
yeah, exactly. So maybe I might as well.
You're technically
finish
a
it.
third of the way through.
But I'd have to watch the first episodes over again, or I wouldn't understand anything. So I would give this a rewatch. But yeah, I'd say I liked what I saw well enough. So there's that.
Well,
Okay,
I
wait.
actually.
Wait, before you go, Envy, I have to know. Did you watch this one all the way through?
No.
He was getting ready for a con.
Yeah.
That's fair.
No, I've been distracted
long
playing a video
episodes.
game for once, so
Oh, for once.
Yeah, the Fire Emblem game.
yeah. But anyway, I watched the first 2 episodes, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect, because I'd never heard of it, but I was pleasantly surprised. I will admit, though, that like, at first glance, it seemed like it would almost be like a morally gray type of show where, like, both sides are right in their own way, because obviously I forget what they call them, but the people with the powers, they're just trying to live their lives. They just can't help that they get these powers. But at the same time, you have situations where they can, cause a danger, and that's why that squad was so important. But I have a feeling with that evil Shadow Council, it'll be the stereotypical Shadow Council that is, dictates everything. But for the setup for the setup and everything like that, I really enjoyed it. I liked the characters. I like the dynamic of the show so far. Although I do kind of think that the unicycle game needs a win at a certain point, because they always seem to lose at certain points. But
What are you talking about? They won at the end of episode 2. They blew that guy to smithereens.
Yeah, but it was a side character. I meant like against the main characters.
Hey man,
But
any wins a
You
win.
want a child to die?
no, but but basically what I'm trying to say is that I enjoyed the show, and I will at some point watch the rest of it.
In regards to your earlier thing, yes, it is not like even ambiguously gray. It's very clear cut. They're like, the mutants are right, the Shadow Council people are wrong. Some of the members have a more morally gray standpoint on their reasons for joining. But as an organization, no, they're just bad.
Yeah,
Really
like I kind of feel like, again, I haven't seen the rest of the show, but like I kind of felt like, okay, we have another secret, government organization where you get the old men calling everything, and they're evil because they're in the shadows. I almost feel like you don't even need that Shadow Council. The government made that secret organization to try and stop these people, and yeah, are their methods a little extreme? Yes, but you could also see a public danger. So I kind of wish the organization, again, we only saw them for like 20 seconds, but I kind of feel like you don't even need the Shadow Organization, at least for me.
But then how are we going to have Sith Lords, man? One of them is going to say, I am the Senate.
Yeah, you don't even need that type of story, at least for me. Like, I don't know, I kind of just, I want a show where basically you can pick your own side. Not, you're going to pick a side by default.
That is asking a lot for a 2010 anime.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think that's kind of like Darker Than Black.
I
For the
feel
most
like
part.
the sides were pretty clearly drawn.
Okay, at the very least, no side actually has any real good guys.
Yes. But, like,
So-
you very clearly have the one that you're supposed to be rooting for and the one you're supposed to be rooting
but that's
against.
because they're cool. It's not because they're a good person, it's because they're cool.
Like, I feel like a thing that really characterized 2010 anime was that you had a very strong protagonist who literally everything hinged upon, and anything opposing the protagonist was by default the enemy.
I mean, isn't that just shonen in general?
A little bit sometimes.
No, like I feel like they've definitely come a pretty decent way in like showing that protagonists aren't always right and make mistakes now.
Example?
I mean, we could go My Hero.
When do Deku do wrong?
Well, he hasn't read the manga, so he doesn't
Oh
want to get spoiled.
boy. Okay. So
I haven't
Deku
read the
do
manga, and
wrong.
I know what's coming up. So
Are we gonna see at conventions people going, Deku did nothing wrong? Like we have with Attack on Titan?
I did see a Deku cosplayer
Oh, there we go.
play
Aaron. That's a good
cosplay
example.
a Deku from further in the manga at the convention.
Oh, you
so
know, that's fair. Attack on Titan makes sense.
Like, I don't know, anime nowadays, I feel like it's not as protagonist centered. Like, they do usually expand to the surrounding cast.
yeah, a lot
And
of times the side characters are more interesting than the main character. I mean, look at Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer. Not that I don't love Tanjiro, but
Yeah.
In fairness,
they
isn't that just a
also-
bland protagonist sometimes?
They
I
humanize.
think Tanjiro's bland.
He is a little bit.
He's a lot a bit, but like,
Thank you.
brotherly love. But I'm like, they humanize villains a lot more as well. Like, villains are an actual like cast rather than like a stereotype.
so basically what you're saying is that they went from old school Disney villains where they're clearly evil to modern Disney villains where sometimes they're the twist villain or they're sympathetic.
Or they
Not
might not even be a villain. They might just be a little misguided.
Or even beyond that, like,
I think in Disney it's just family trauma is the villain now.
yeah, I
last
feel
couple
like
ones.
characters, even when they don't necessarily deserve it, like, they get offered chances at redemption nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, they're not just evil throughout. Like I said,
I
there
think it's
are
just 'cause-
humanizing elements.
I think, and I mean, I see that trend in a lot of, like, in general in a lot of media. I think it's just because they were more interesting than the heroes were. But we can't just make a show about someone being evil because that might give people the wrong message. So now we have to make them a good guy, despite the fact that they're, probably a genocidal maniac. It's a laugh.
I just think that we're entering an age where, like, we can tell more nuanced stories.
Hopefully.
Okay, Cece, thoughts?
Thoughts. When I was watching this, I was like, this feels like a mixture of Number 6 and K Project. Those are
Okay,
both
I've
your
seen K
jams, so
Project.
I'm not surprised at all that you picked this one. It's not really my type of show, but I don't also I'll enjoy them in the moment and then, like, completely forget about them. Like, I've seen K Project 2 or 3 times now. Could not tell you a thing that happens in it.
We know the
That's
problem,
fair.
Cece. We needed to have the special squad in cheerleading outfits.
No, Cece needed a trash hobo
yeah,
man.
the hobo.
So Sharknado in a cheerleading outfit.
No, you're saying the old man who dresses up like a clown didn't do it for you?
No. Too old.
But it's Adam
Too
from
actually
Skate.
homeless.
I think they're talking about K Project.
Can I tell you
No,
something?
the old man who dressed up as a clown.
I don't
The
know.
That's in
old
this one,
man
too.
is the one
You
who
didn't watch,
built
I
the
know.
amusement park.
He's the...
I figured.
Ah.
He seemed like
yes.
the only
He's not
responsible one.
homeless. He's the super loaded one.
I know, but, like, vibe-wise, he's too responsible. He's got it too much
Oh,
together.
yeah, he does give off strong uncle vibes.
Yeah. Not homo.
Not like Al uncle vibes, but like actual responsible uncle vibes.
I give off uncle vibes?
Yes.
You said
You give
so.
Chaotic uncle vibes.
When did I say that?
At the con.
Oh, well, people didn't know about that.
chaotic uncle vibes.
I'm the uncle who teaches you how to hotwire a car.
Yeah.
Yes. You're my uncle, who was 13 when I was born.
Okay, alright. What the age thing has to do with it? Or is
Because he
he
was a
old?
teenager. He was a child when I was a baby. You cannot leave babies with teenage boys.
It's not like he was raising you, I hope.
He taught me a lot of stuff toddlers should not be taught.
Oh, well, that's half the fun.
Yeah, I had an
See?
uncle like that.
You see?
I have cousins who have kids, and this is not going to make sense without a visual, but they were like, hey, we want to go swim in the pool, but, we don't have goggles that'll also hold our nose. I'm like, you can hold your nose and swim at the same time. All you got to do is take your thumbs, plug one side of your nose each, and then just swim with your elbows. But what if water gets in my ears? Well, then you take your pinkies, and it was essentially like, just having them do weird things. Plug your ears with your thumbs, plug your nose with your pinkies, and then just try to waddle in the water.
This is exactly what we're talking about.
Had their parents not been there to immediately be like, don't do that, I guarantee you I could have got one of them to... Well, actually, no. They might have nearly drowned, and that might have been bad.
That would have been very bad.
Probably would have not worked out well.
You're the uncle who gives them, like, a really random, obscure fear they carry over into adulthood.
Like,
What?
fucking general chaos.
Why are you scared of broccoli? I've seen things, man. And then they turn into Homura from AYoN.
My grandmother had, like, an entire generation of my family convinced that butterflies bit you. So, like,
They
an
do.
entire generation of my family terrified of butterflies.
That's kind of hilarious.
That is something you would do.
Well, now I can't. Now I'm trying to think, like, what can I get them to be afraid of now?
Yeah, she did all that work, and then SpongeBob did it for my family in a single episode.
I remember that one.
Tyler still doesn't like butterflies.
They're gross looking, man. Moths are where it's at.
Yeah.
Moths are so fuzzy.
Oh,
Yeah,
I hate
and they-
moths too.
It's just different wings.
But moths don't have faces that look like death.
Moths are fuzzy.
They are fuzzy. I tried to feed a moth to my cats, but they were too stupid. So I let them
Maybe
go
they had
outside.
mercy.
No, they're just
They're
dumb.
stupid.
Okay.
You've met our cats. They're dumb.
Yeah, for the most part. So, overall, Tawana Quon. Looks like, for the most part, it seemed like everyone was pretty much enjoying it, that were able to watch it.
Wait a minute, I have
What?
one thing. We have
Yep.
not met Towa. So it's
Right?
just Quon.
Well,
we cannot call it
he's a
Tawana
tree.
Quon, it's just Quon.
Yes,
Have we seen the tree?
Yeah, you have technically
There you
met
go.
Towa.
Oh,
He's a
He
tree.
is the tree.
He's
That
a tree.
giant tree that was like split in half and then had new growth.
Okay,
Yeah.
but we don't know that yet. So it's just Quon.
No, if you've seen him and he's there, that's Towa Naquan.
It's
No, I call
not
bullshit.
2020,
On that
I
he
guess,
is the
but like
tree or that he's
it's
there.
something when you watch back through, you're like, hey, they were foreshadowing it all along.
They hit him in plain sight. He was there the whole time. It's like the Hangover. Doug was on the roof.
Plain sight, like a grassy field.
Yes, exactly. So, Tawana Quan, mark it down in the books. Let's do something easy next week. You
How
guys
about
feeling
the
like
biggest
see
show
the
of
people-
2022 so far?
Hmm?
I said, how about the biggest show of 2022 so far?
Well, that's up for debate, but okay.
No, without a doubt.
Trying to end it. Everyone keeps talking over me. Spy X Family next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time.